What is up, everybody? What is going on, all you gorgeous people out there? Today is 4/19/2020 in 2 hours and 22 minutes. I think it's 420 begins. 420 is a very, very popular time for some of you people out there. A lot of my listeners and friends and coworkers and ex college friends and all these people, everybody smokes weed, so there's a lot of people that are going to be celebrating tomorrow. Um, I am going to go see the girls. I know that, so I'm super pumped. I'm super pumped to record this podcast today on the 19th. It's a gloomy ass fucking day. Can't see with my badass curtains up. It's a gloomy ass day in SoCal, dude. But I'm pumped to bring you this episode. It's episode 12. I titled this one, I Got Dropped in Uptown. I got dropped in Uptown. I ain't even gonna lie about that shit. I'm gonna talk about it. This episode is brought to you by me and only me. I have no sponsors. I don't have any sponsors yet, and I'd love to get sponsors. A few of my friends have businesses out there and companies. A friend with a barbershop. I got a friend with a weed shop. I got a friend selling cars. I got a friend with a publishing house. I got a friend with the skate shops. I got friends selling dope. You know, I can't bring the latter part on, but you know what I mean, dude. Dude, I know some weird ass motherfucking dudes, man. I know some very serious like attorneys that don't play, and then I know some dudes that sell you anything from Walmart for like $30. Anything you want, dude. I don't know about TVs and shit, but usually whatever they can get, they'll get you. And I don't condone the latter, like, but I understand it. They got mouths to feed. Father Greg Boyle. Father Greg Boyle's father for he started Homeboy Industries in East LA, and it's funny. I sent him an email. A lot of people don't know this, dude. I didn't even write this down. Father Greg Boyle, he had a really good quote. I'm not religious at all. I'm agnostic. So I believe that there is a higher power and there is a spirit out there. However, I don't believe in the conforms of organized religion like Christianity or Catholicism. I think both are very, to be honest, they can be immoral in times. And I understand the love and compassion that a lot of people feel for religion and the faith. And dude, that shit warms my heart. If somebody can have so much compassion and marriage to their faith, it, I am an asshole to ever talk about that. How could I ever say that, you know? And that's beautiful. So that works for that person. It doesn't work for me. And it's unfortunate. But for me, I have my own opinions on religion. However, if people decide to follow those religions, that's perfectly fine. I got 2 daughters, man. I got 2 daughters, okay? We've already had similar talks on religion. There was an introduction to like a few passages from a family friend to my daughters, and it was quoting the Christian Bible and or King Richard's Bible. I don't know what they go off of, the Christians, but it didn't bother me. It was great. I like to use it as the purpose that was meant behind it. I can't remember the exact passage, but it was something about being strong during these times, and we'll get through them. And regardless if it was from a religious passage, I like the words of it, and I found it empowering for my daughters, and I use that. So, me being agnostic does not mean that I dislike or discredit or distaste any religion. It's just that have decided not to follow any religion, and I believe that there is something out there. I don't know what happens when the lights go out. Um, Nobody fucking knows, dude. Nobody knows. Everybody who says they know, that's pure bullshit, dude. There's fucking nobody that knows what happens after death and shit, dude. You might just go black. Like the whole scene might just go black, dog, and then that's it. You're out there doing nothing. Or someone's religion is right, dude. But you know what? There's gonna be people that are wrong, dude. Um, Even if I always had this thought that being a Christian, that God's gonna eventually accept you into heaven, and wash you of your sins. So, growing up as a kid, I always heard that. It's like, man, I wonder if like Hitler's up there and shit then, because Hitler had to have been washed from his sins for what he's done, right? But then, as I got older and I learned a little more, that you need to repent for your sins. Now, let's say you are a religious person and you do try to not violate any sins, and you have a small time to repent, and maybe you made it all the way, you made it up when you were on earth, and you go straight into heaven. However, the people that have a lot to repent for, they're gonna be fucked for a while. They're gonna burn for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And I never knew that. But it tripped me out, like that. There's consequences. That in Christianity, that God is almighty and God is all powerful, and God is all. However, it's hard to believe that men are created equally in this world anymore. But then it makes me think, did man, by man I just mean everyone, creature, everything, did we fuck everything up, where the original plan was just to be like wild animal boars fucking just running through the fucking jungles, dude, like cavemen? But then, if God's almighty, why did he give us intuition and reason? God dang it, the ability to reason is I don't know, it's God given, I'd say. It's created, man, but that ability to think something through and to contemplate it, to make a decision, some scholars suggest that is the only separation between us and like monkeys and shit. It's a trip. Something so simple as reason can make you think like that. It blows my mind, man. Really just blows my mind. Dude, where the fuck was I? Oh, Father Greg Boyle. Dude, man, I went off on a tangent right there. How many minutes am I in this thing? I was talking for like 8 minutes right now. That was pretty cool. So Father Greg Boyle, right? Father Greg Boyle always had a good metaphor or quote that I would always like to hear from one of his TED Talks, that don't judge a person by how they carry their baggage. Why not admire the person for the baggage they have to carry? If you look at somebody's life and you're always comparing it to yourself, well, this person has more. Yeah, that person has less. That's why those things happen. Well, that person has more, and that motherfucker has to do all the. If you're always complaining, you'll never know exactly You'll always be in the fucking middle, to be straight up, dude. You're always gonna be in the fucking middle because that's gonna be your mentality and shit. And that's a tough one. You know, why live like that? And I'm not preaching from some fucking higher ground, dude. I'm there with you, man. I'm struggling, been there, doing it. You know, not having the best of times, but I'm still here. Um, and I don't want anybody to judge me by, oh, this motherfucker just gets on his podcast and smokes cigarettes and things like he's dirty or something gross. How you gonna judge me off of that? You know, my kids do not know that I have ever smoked anything, and that's how it should be. They're 9 and 4 years old. There's no fucking purpose in knowing that shit. My ex-wife, bless her heart, she knows I smoke. It is what it is. I don't smoke around the kids. The kids do not smell like it. The kids do not smell it. I just don't. Sometimes I gotta take like a 10-minute break. Hey, I'm gonna walk to the car. I'll go have a stoke real quick. Spray a bunch of like whatever stuff on me. Come back to the house, they'll never smell shit. Throw some mouthwash in. You know, come respectful. And I might do that once during the weekend that I have them. But you see, people can judge me on what I do, but they might not be able to understand that. Sometimes when I do have my daughters, it does become extremely weighted. It becomes very heavy on my shoulders, and what I mean by that is, you know, being a single dad, man. When I what was I saying? When I got divorced, dude, the best thing that came, well, like a silver lining out of my divorce was it made me a better father. Um, because there was no time to relax. It was just, it was go time. And, I was divorced with a 5-month old. And, so yeah, it's crunch time. That's formula. That's up in the middle of the night. That's going to work. That's still coming back. That's feeding the baby, changing the baby, making sure the baby's okay, taking care of, walking, talking, still hitting all those milestones. So yeah, if I do have a cigarette, you know, once or twice on the weekend that I have them, you can judge me. That's only for you, though. I ain't gonna carry that shit. So I always look at that, and I don't use that as a crutch, you know, while I'm smoking like crack. Like, hey, this is what I chose to do. Don't judge me, because I got problems, you know, and I'm smoking crack. And that's more of like a deteriorating vice. Like, it just kills you, dude. I mean, this is killing me too, but in a slower way. But anyways, anybody got any sponsors out there, dude? Anyone? Like, I am not asking for money at all. I am just like, anybody wants a shout out, I can throw their shit on my page. I got my page, the shopping page. I got now the Podbean. I'm trying to get on a freaking Apple Podcast, but the logo I keep uploading is too goddamn big or small. I don't know how to do logos and shit. So I'm trying to upload it to Apple Podcasts, and it's just not happening right now. But you can get it on SoundCloud. My first like 4 episodes. They probably won't all be on there. It'll probably be those 4, but I'll get a site up, and you'll get it on like Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts very soon. So that will be coming. But I'm just pumped to let you guys all know that this is all me. You know, this is this might not look like much to anyone that's watching, but to me, this is a lot. This is amazing. These mics right here were donated from a great attorney friend of mine, and these drapes and tension rods, I bought for $2 each off some dude on OfferUp. Fucking loved it. The most expensive shit. Oh, I got the holder for the camera and the light. The most expensive shit though is that little connector that connects to the mic and allows me to record from the mic to my iPhone, which is fucking sick. And then of course a sick $5 table cover from Walmart. And then the table I got on a sick ass OfferUp deal for like $10, dude. It's like brand new. I think the dude was selling hot shit. I don't know though. He had a receipt though, so I saw that. I scanned it, the receipt too, because I have the Walmart app. I saw him buy it. He had a camera, glasses, goggles. What the fuck, dude? The laptops. I have like two laptops. An old Mac that I bought in like 2012. It looks fucking dope, but it's a little slow. But I can FaceTime on it, and the FaceTime is pretty clear if I get a good Wi-Fi connection. I need a little Wi-Fi booster out here, but that'll come in time. But I'll eventually be connecting the FaceTime. Hopefully, get some people on there. I'm gonna try JB again to finish episode number 8, which we tried to record last week, but it didn't happen. I couldn't charge things, and just my laptop was taking a shit. Again, 2012. It's almost 10 years old. Then I got this laptop back in like 2016, 2017, and I love it. Works good. I can do Mac or PC. Love them. What I prefer, working, I prefer using a PC. Because I like using dual screens, and I like going back and forth between my dual screens on PC. But with Mac, I like doing more like artsy shit. Like if I want to write or publish, or it just looks sleeker and cleaner to me sometimes than the other one. Excuse me. Altogether though, you need to make you need funds to make shit like this kind of happen. And honestly, I've put probably like $100 into all this setup right here, and it's all good, dude. Like, it works for me right now, and eventually, when we're not on lockdown, we'll be able to have people here and have guests and shit. I love having my daughters on. I can't wait to do another episode of what's going on with the girls. I just want to do one with Gab separately. Man, she is hilarious. There's so much I could say about those two. But I don't have the best shit. This isn't the best shit by far, but I'm putting it together. Amazon started in the garage. Rudy started on a balcony. Rudy's here for you. And only you. Let's jump into the first segment. Life experience stories. I got dropped in Uptown. Man, this was not a good time in my life, dude. I'm not even gonna lie. This was back like 2016, right? This is like May. Nah, not even May, like June. June 2016. And it was a summer night. And I had a bunch of cash on me. Because I sold a car. And I had the cash on me. And I was taking an Uber. And I needed the cash. Now, I wasn't having cash to like flaunt it. But I was flaunting it. And I went to... I Ubered up to the Havana House in in Uptown Whittier. Go up to Havana House, dude, and I was always in there, like, all the time, even during the week and shit, like a scumbag, dude. That's when I used to drink. I was fucking all fat and shit, looking horrible. Fuck, dude. Do the best I did. For those of you listening on just a podcast, just the audio, I dropped ash from my stogie on my red $5 table cover. That sucks, dude. At least I didn't burn it. I'm gonna burn this fucking thing. I know I am. Anyways, so I'm in Havana House and I got there like at 6 p.m. Right, super early, 6 p.m. and I'm like the only one at the bar top, and I'm getting plastered. Right, I'm smoking Stogs in there and pump. I'm drinking fucking beers left and right, dog. And so a couple hours go by, it's like 8 o'clock. You start seeing the older folk come out. You know what I'm saying? Older folk come out like 8 o'clock and shit. And plus, at that time, Havana closed at 12 o'clock. So people were out like from 8 to 12 and then would jam. So 8 o'clock, I was liquored up, dog. And I started watching videos of my daughters because at that time I was going through a divorce. It was nasty. Like, it was so bad for me, dude. It was tough. And I was going through it, and I remember watching videos of my daughters, like, all teary-eyed at the bar and shit. Nobody fucking cared, except this one girl, this chola girl, right? She's sitting next to me, dog, and she's like, oh, those are your daughters, like, really cute. So we just start chopping it up, I buy her a drink and shit. We're chopping it up. So she, like, ends up going to the bathroom, and then this dude comes, and he's, like, lingering by, like, her purse, and she was like, oh, can you just keep an eye on my purse? Like, lingering by the chair, and it starts getting a little more packed in Havana. It's like 9 o'clock now, and so she comes back, and then she's like, oh, hey, what's up? I don't want to say his name, right? And I was like, oh, okay, like, what the hell? Damn. I'm blowing the ash, but anyways. Oh, did I burn it? I almost burned it. What a fool. Anyways, so I'm in the Havana House, right, at this bar. And you can smoke in there and shit. That's why they call it a Havana House. They got cigars and shit. You can smoke in there. So I'm smoking Stogs and fucking trying to rap at this chola chick. So this homeboy comes up and they're talking and shit, and then she's like, oh, this is my I don't know, I was drunk, but I could have sworn she said brother, but maybe she said boyfriend, I don't know, but he did not like me, and he was like a little more touchy-feely than a brother would be with a sister, to be real with you. My sisters are cool, but I like shake hands with them, that's it. They don't hug me. We don't hug in my family. The way he was like putting his arm on her and shit like that, shit was kind of whack. And so anyways, I keep talking to her because I'm drunk as fuck, dude. So it's like 11 p.m. and then I get up to go to the bathroom. I come back and he's sitting in my chair, right? So I'm like, okay, like, he was there the whole time and he was kind of cool. Like, if he wanted to say something, he could have said something already. Like, if that was his chick, he would have stepped in. But it was awkward. Like, I don't know what the fuck they were. Cause I don't know. It was weird. And so, no bullshit, I'm still rapping at her, right? He starts like, oh, he's sitting in my chair, and I come back and like, oh, dude, can I sit down? And he's like, nah, dog. He's like, you can sit somewhere else. And I was like, what? I was like, dude, we were all cool. Like, it was already 11 p.m., And now the bar's fucking popping. Like, the DJ's going, everybody's there and shit. So he's talking to me. I can't hear shit. I'm drunk. And he's telling me he's from a gang, Maravilla. And he's telling me he's from Maravilla. And I'm going off like, what? Well, I don't even gangbang, dog. I don't gangbang, this shit. And then the bartender was watching the whole time, right? As a good bartender should. I don't have any problems with bartenders or security guards, man. You guys do your shit. You knock heads when you have to. Dude, I've seen you guys' videos. But you guys always get the trouble brought to you, some mad respect. It's always little guys like me that mouth off, dude, that don't know what's up. And this was one of the times I kind of mouthed off a little bit to this guy. I might have said some disrespectful things, and I was drunk, and by no means was that proper behavior, but he set me in my place. So, anyways, the bartender's watching. Boom, he calls for security from the way Havana's set up. There's a back entrance and a front, but nobody can go out the back. But there's security back there, and security comes running from the back, from the front. Grab him, grab me, pull each other. They pull him to the back. They pull me to the front. They send us out that way. Like, tell me you gotta get the fuck out. Tell him you gotta get the fuck out. So I am pissed drunk in the front of Havana House, thinking I'm some badass in a fucking Pendleton, and I'm trying to get an Uber on my phone, and I'm like stumbling up more towards like I think Philadelphia or Hadley and shit, more towards up Hadley, I guess, up Greenleaf, definitely towards Hadley, and I started wandering, and I'm like pressing my phone, and then no bullshit, dude, like I'm looking at my phone, and this big ass truck fucking comes by, fucking just skids, fucking just, fucking comes up to the curb, right? I go, fuck, what the fuck? Homeboy from the bar jumps out, right? So homeboy, no bullshit, I ain't even trying to front on this shit, man. He jumps out the bar, right? And I was like, Dick, fuck, were you tripping in there? I don't even know is she your wife? So he goes, hits me, dude. I think he hit me in the jaw or hit me in the cheek. I can't fucking remember, dude. I remember that it hurt, but it hurt on the side of my face. And he didn't knock me out, and he didn't keep going. But I do remember getting hit, and I dropped, bah, dude, on the fucking floor, and I got back up real quick. And then he jumped in the truck and fucking bounced, because security was running up from Havana and shit. And I was embarrassed and shit, so I just like looked away, and I was like, nah, I'm good, and I walked across the street and shit. Trying to get an Uber somewhere else. I hope my Uber didn't see me, dog. If my Uber saw me, I'd tell him like, nah, that ain't me. That's not Rudy, dog. Don't pick me up. I'd cancel and then just pick somebody else up. An Uber driver who didn't see me get dropped, dog. Because then I gotta hear about it. No, but so I get in the Uber, and he didn't see shit, but I get in the Uber. And he's like, alright, dude, let me take you home. And he's like, oh, you have a good night? I'm like, fuck no, dude, I got dropped right now in front of fucking Havana House. He's like, oh, fuck, man, what? I was like, dude, to be honest, man, I don't really feel good. He's like, can we go to Jack in the Box? And, no bullshit, me and the Uber went to Jack in the Box on, the corner of Telegraph and, Carmenita. And, I bought him Jack in the Box. And we ate it in the car together. So after I got dropped, like, in short story, after I got dropped, I ate Jack in the Box with some dude, with my Uber driver, in the parking lot of Jack in the Box. And I bought him the food. I don't know why I did it. Well, to Uber driver, dude, you gotta be cool sometimes, you know? Don't be a dick, and don't be a douche is what I'm always saying, so, I gotta practice my ways, you know? I was practicing, I'm young, you know? But, you know what I learned from that? Like, the real life experience story that I got from this is, sometimes you're gonna get your ass kicked. Good fellas. Everybody takes a beating. It's the way it goes. Sometimes you get beat down. You know, it's not always physical. Not saying everybody's gonna get their ass kicked in front of Havana House. But you're gonna get your ass kicked in front of somewhere. In front of someone. By something. Something's gonna kick your ass out there in this world. And if you're not able to cope with or move past it, it's going to become bigger than you want it to be. And that's one thing I'm realizing as I'm going through life now is I can look back at these things and laugh at them because I can see the immaturity and the poor self-esteem that I had in those moments, and I know now that I am not that person, and I let alcohol and poor decision making control my mind, and that's my entire fault. But that's how I decided to deal with my issues in that moment because I did not know how to cope. So it happens. Those things happen, but don't fucking quit. Don't give up. What is it, Dr. V? Don't ever give up. Dude, like, you can't. And if you feel like you are, look around you. Text me. Call me. Message me. Chat me. Fucking, I don't know. There's all kinds of shit you can do now to contact people. Everyone's in contact. But, yeah, I'm just, I'm able to look back at these stories and not feel burdensome by the person I was. Instead, I feel extremely proud of the man I've become. There's a therapist. His name is Siri Satnam Singh. He studied as a yogi for years, and he talks to like celebrities too, as like in a therapist one-on-one session. And he talked to like Joe Budden, and he's talking about Joe Budden's anger really got the best of him. And he says, why would you let somebody bring you to a level of shame like that, where you're so angry and you're volatile and acting nasty or doing irrational things? Why would you let them bring you to a level of shame? Why would you give them that power? And it makes complete sense. It really does. Why would you give them that power? There's absolutely no reason to give them that power. And you have that choice to make. And I think that's the decision we're all making today. Especially as we go through coronavirus. But life's a trip, man. Life's a trip. Mm-hmm. Ow. Dude, what was I gonna say? Straight up. Oh. That's what I need to do. I need to put your hands up on my hips. When I dip, you dip, we dip. Let's dip to the next segment. Straight up personal finance. Stimulus check ideas. This segment, I kind of want to talk about everybody's getting paid right now, right? Some of us got paid this past week. Some of us will get paid in this week. Some of us won't get paid for a couple weeks due to some mailing of checks, and that kind of sucks too. But people will get this extra money. I hope it's extra money for some. If not, I hope it's essential money for some. They'll be able to get this money and use it. And I hope if anybody's listening to this pod, man, if you take something from this, is take like 10%, okay? If you got that $1,200, take $120. If you got the $1,700, take $170. If you got $3,400 for a family of 4, then take maybe $340 if you're able to. If not, go less. Go to 5%. Who gives a fuck? Nobody's fucking judging you. But take a part of that stimulus check, and look at all these different fucking apps that are out there. And if you listen, pay attention that the stock market is eventually going to be at a low. If you have this extra funds to maybe gamble with in the stock market, or look at Chime, these little investment apps. Look at different avenues. There's it's done studies on people that are in between 25 and 34 years old, which is my age group. I'm like at the tail end. I'm 32 now. Fuck, I'm old as fuck. But people in our age group, we we are not investing. We're not doing shit. I think we're all just getting high and shit. I don't know what's going on, but we're not investing, and it's a trip. But how are we getting by? Like, obviously, we're being able. Are we getting by? Ooh, maybe some of us are in debt. A lot of us are in debt, and another idea with your stimulus check is to analyze your monthly budget. Okay, look at how much you actually spend on food. Don't be fucking lazy, dog. Look at that shit. Open that bank statement, open that app, dog. Take a look and see what you spend on food. If you're spending a lot, yeah, you got to cut back on that shit. Something you want to look at is your continuous transactions. If you're not buying food, there might be something you are purchasing a little too much of. I had a friend that was a fitness, like kind of like for GNC, he was like a rep for them, right? And he had to have that exterior and physique to resemble somebody that takes GNC material products and looks impeccable, apparently. And he would spend a lot of money on those products. And although he was getting great discounts and shit, he was still spending a lot of money. And even if it was something that he felt was for his own health, he still started spending a lot. So whether you might want to consider it an addiction or just a habit, sometimes these things are money suckers. So you really have to, when you look at your budget, you have to be honest with yourself. That's the biggest thing I could tell somebody, is be honest with yourself. And I'm no fucking expert, trust me. But I have spent some years in the banking industry and always been in finance and current roles and payroll, and I've always been around numbers. So I've seen the tail end of it, and I've seen like the results of poor decisions as well. If you're gonna be in finance, you're gonna make some stupid decisions. It's just the way it goes. Um, However, there's a lot of things you learn through that, and that's what I'm taking now. So the best thing you could do when analyzing your budget is just being honest with yourself. If you're spending too much on something, you got to cut that shit out. Whatever it is, if it's something that you definitely need, and it's like a medication, obviously, I'm not saying fucking cut that shit out, but just take a look at the non-essential items, and break it down, dude. Break it down to the dollar. Take a look. Write that shit. Try to categorize it. All right, food is a non-perishable. I'm gonna put that right there. And anything else non-perishable, like fucking underwear. You might non-perishable essential like underwear and bras that you might buy one time. Like, you want to put money away for that shit, you can. And it's simple. You just have to put the time into it, and that's the hardest thing for some people. But you can get this time now, and if you do have this stimulus check as an extra, use it to your advantage. Put it to work for you. Maybe you might make some more money. Maybe you might not. Maybe you might learn things you didn't know. Maybe you might not. Who knows? Or there's always an opportunity. You can go to your local credit union. You can go to your local bank. I wouldn't say go to a bank. Go to a credit union. Fuck banks. Corporate banks are scumbags, dude. For profit, all that shit's nasty, dog. Don't ever bank with a bank unless you're doing like business. It's hard to get into credit unions with businesses. But anyways, credit unions are the way to go. And you go into a credit union, you don't even have to be a member. You can talk to a financial advisor, and you can ask them all the risks and dangers of investing. Do it. Talk to them. Give them a call. I have a couple friends, but I don't want to put their info out because I really haven't touched base with them in a while. But really do something with it. It's a stimulus check. You're not going to get it ever again. We might get one more due to how long this lockdown has been, but you're never going to get free money like this again. And it's only free now. They'll get it back. Trust me. They're going to get their money back. If you want to ride waves, Rui. I used to have a stupid fucking AOL screen name. It was Ride Hard Rudy. Oh my god. Ride Hard Rudy. Sounds like a fucking disgusting act that I'm asking to be done to me. And that I can take it because I'm provocatively saying I can ride it hard. And that's not a good thing. It's not a good thing at all. Don't ever get an AOL username like that. It's fucking disgusting. Anyways, moving on. That was a horrible segue, but my next segment 3, dad's side. Man, raising girls is emotionally exhausting. My daughters are my world. They are the gleam in my eye. They are the happiness in my heart. But they are sensitive as a motherfucker, man. God damn. I ain't lying on that shit, man. God damn. They're so sensitive with me, and they're so goddamn. They're so different. They're so different. So different. My oldest was with me and my ex-wife the first 4 years of her life when we were together, and then we got the divorce, and then we had Gabriella as well right before the divorce, and so Audrey got a lot of love from us, and she knew Dad as a very unhinged man, I think, because I was unhappy in my relationship, but I was so comfortable that I didn't want to leave. And although I was unhappy, I just thought that's how life went. So I think my daughter saw me as a unhappy dude, and she got to see my lashing out a little bit, and knowing that Dad was a little temperamatic. Is that even a word? I don't know. But he had a temper, and she understood that, and I think I don't want to get too deep because it'll make me sad. But I think my daughter is very aware of me, and for example, let's say she dropped something. If she dropped something that I knew she would drop, because I was telling her, don't play with that, please, because it's close to the table, or if it's fragile or anything like that, and she drops it, and she would just, oh my god, Dad, I'm so sorry, and get it real quick and clean up. And still be like, God, Audrey, you need to be careful. I already told you about that. Please do not do that again. Gabriella, my 4-year-old, She grew up, um, mom and dad, me and my ex-wife, we split up when she was 5 months. So really, all her life she's ever known is a two household family, and she is extremely sensitive. She, if she were to drop something, um, she would just stare at me and watch my reaction. And unfortunately, I try to catch my first reaction as much as I can, but I fail sometimes. Um, but I try. And so if she drops something and it does startle me, I might say, "Oh, God dang it, Gabby, you can't do that." And that's it. She would just fold up and cry. And it was so sad. We were out here like messing around with this stuff before we shot the podcast. And she had dropped my microphone or some, no, not the mic. Uh, my mouse or something because she was messing around with this stuff. And it made loud noise and it just made a loud noise and it just scared me. And I kind of like snapped up, and I wasn't angry at her by any means. She picked it up, put it back, and she was just like, okay. And I went inside and I can see her through the blinds and she's so sad. She's sobbing and crying with her knees up on the chair and her hands in her knees like this, crying. Like if she just broke my heart and there's no repair, or I broke her heart. Something is so unfixable that she feels that that's the end of it. And it makes you realize how important it is as a father to be in your children's lives, but for me, I'm talking about being in a girl's life. I think, unfortunately, some men decide to leave at certain ages, usually around the child or the daughter becoming, going through puberty and things like that, and men kind of tend to back off, or they focus their priorities on their own, on a separate family, um, or creating their own family, and I just want to say that mentality or that thought process is fucking horseshit. Because that's a bullshit ass cop out. And you made that life. You love that life. You do what you need to give that person a better life. And if you fail to, there are ways to fix things. You fail too much and you really fuck up. You can't fix that. You have to live with that sin, that darkness, that whatever you want to call it. But if you're able to fix it, man. The kids need you. Um, you really are raising the future, regardless of what you might say the future entails. You really are raising the future. So fix what you need to. Stop the fucking cycles. Stop the bullshit. Talk to your kids. Be open, but don't be too open. Don't make them have to compare their story to yours. Be better. Teach them to be better. Teach them to love. Teach them true love. And teach them that when they do meet that person continues teaching them about true love. It never ends. We must teach our children better. Now, in order for me to do that, I need to fix things up here. I have 2 daughters. The way I react is not the best way at times. Will it come in handy when I need to react to save my daughters? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Am I an extremist at times to always think it? Sometimes at those terrible moments? Yeah, but I do, and they're my world. So
I want to be prepared, because there's been times where I wasn't prepared and I got my ass robbed, or I got my ass knocked out. I don't drink anymore and I don't make stupid decisions like that anymore. So there goes that. But I'm still strong as fuck. And I'll still try to give it to anybody if I have to, but those days are behind me. But I do love my daughters. And I understand their sensitivity and the difference in it. But I cherish them. And I will teach them that their sensitivity is okay. And there are better ways than crying when things do happen. And that things that happen that you cannot control, you do not need to collapse on. Because things will be better. And daddy's always going to be there, mommy's going to be there to help you. And if things get hard, we'll be there to make sure we do our best to help you out. Give you that little boost, little push up the ladder. That's my plan. And I love my girls. I love doing my podcast. But with that, I'd like to end it. I think this is the longest podcast I've ever recorded by myself. Super stoked. 419, 420 is in an hour and a half. That's cool, man. I hope everybody has fun, if you know what that's about. Peace.